Hello, it's Darren from Grills Plants here in Cornwall in the UK. Today is the 11th of March when I'm making this video, so spring is well on its way by now. So normally talk a lot about plants and growing plants, sowing plants, dividing plants, but we keep bantam hens, bantam chickens, and today I'm making a video about anyone that's thinking about getting poultry. Because when we first started, we used YouTube a lot. We found a person in America that was very helpful. Videos we watched on how to make the run safe back even in America. He was talking about raccoons. Here we're not talking about raccoons that can get in, we're talking about foxes, and we're talking about rats, and we're talking about stoats if you've got stoats in your area. So this was the main part of the run which we originally built about 5 years ago with tannalized wood. So first of all, you can see it's meshed completely, including the roof is meshed as well, and then the roof has then got a plastic sheeting on the top. I don't know if you can see, plastic sheeting which is see-through, and that will give light in but obviously reduce the amount of rain that's going to go into this run. So around the edge you'll see that we've got a skirt. The reason we've put a skirt on, which is a piece of 6x1, is when they start flicking around they'll obviously flick things out onto your garden. So you know, we've put a skirt on there to reduce. You can see there's a little bit there on that path, but not as much as it used to be before we put the skirt on. So the other thing we'll mention, you would talk about foxes. We back on the heathland, so definitely foxes live in the heathland behind us. Potentially there's rats about as well, not in large numbers. We've never had a rat in the run, and we've never had a fox in the run, and we've never actually seen a fox, but we know there'll be foxes out there in the heathland. So see this concrete path here, look, showing you my finger. So when we built this run, we had to take down a big old stone wall, so it was ideal. So we dug a trench where this concrete path is, about 20 inches deep, and then what we did is all the stone that came out of the wall we put in that trench, and then we put sloppy cement on top of that, and then eventually when that was hardened off, then we put a path on the top. So in theory, if a fox wants to dig into here, he's got to dig 20 inches deep just to get anywhere near getting, you know, down far enough to get into the run. Then he's got to dig the other side to get in. Potentially then what would happen is, if he's got to dig that far and he's coming across all this hard core of stone and hardened concrete, it's going to make his paws bleed, and he's probably going to give up and think, you know, there's better meals to be had somewhere else. So 5 years on from doing this, we've not had any attempt of a fox to get in or a rat to get in. I'll show you the heathland behind us. So this is what we back onto, just over our back wall. So as you can see, very much field and then goes into heathland. So yeah, there's foxes out here, it's bound to be. So I'm just trying to give anybody that's starting off thinking about getting poultry, trying to give them the best information I could give them, on the basis that I've done it myself, did a lot of research and found out lots of things. So now then, the mesh. So you can see the mesh here. Now the mesh is ½ inch across by 1 inch high. So and it's welded Avery mesh is what we use, and that is covering, and it covers the whole of the post as well, so nothing in theory can chew in as such where the posts are. Okay, so why we go for ½ inch by 1 inch Avery mesh, hot dipped, welded, galvanized. Okay, that's the important bits you're looking for. We would highly recommend a company, if you're in the UK and you're watching this video, I would highly recommend Hills of Devon. Look at their website, Hills of Devon. This is where we bought all our mesh for all our runs that we've built, and it's phenomenal, it really is. So not cheap, but you know, it's going to do the job for you. So when we talk about ½ inch by 1 inch, we're talking about a gap which, yes, a mouse could get in, and a mouse has got in, but it's very much with poultry, if a mouse gets in, good luck to the mouse, because the chickens are going to chase it and try and eat it. But what you will find is ½ inch by 1 inch, almost impossible for a rat to get in, and we've never had a rat get in. And also, because of the gauge and the size of the hole, it's really difficult for a fox to get his jaw in around such a small hole. And again, should I say, touch wood, no foxes have got in through the mesh either. They've not tried to chew it or anything because of the size of the hole. It's small. You could go smaller hole, you could go for 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, but the price goes up quite a lot and it's already quite expensive mesh to use. So just inside the run now, and this is the coop where they sleep and where they lay their eggs. That's Daisy being a little bit noisy. I'll talk about a bantam side in a minute and why we chose bantams, but I want to just talk to you about the coop. So coop, what do you want? You want a ladder to come out, you want vents. You can see there's vents here and here, which is meshed. You need those vents because they need air to circulate. Just can't have a coop which is literally cooped up. So what you need is in a coop, you need a hatch door which you can close down at night when they all go into bed. They naturally just know that this is a safe place. It's about teaching them, learning them, and it takes no time at all really, you know, literally a week or two, and they know this is a safe place. You want a side door because you want to be able to get in and clean this and collect the eggs. You want roost bars. So these are roost bars. You want 2 inch by 2 inch thick roost bars. This is generally where a lot of them will sleep at night, on the roost bars, and they'll huddle up together. We've got a couple which likes being on the floor. We tried to teach them for a long time to sit on the roost bar at night, but they just won't have it. There's a couple of them that still like to sleep on the floor. So this is where they would lay their eggs. This is where they'd sleep. Bedding. We use a thing called burley bed. Normally we use burley bed. Currently we can't get a burley bed, so this is Macanthus, which is the same as burley bed. It's been crushed and dried. So one, it's fairly dust resistant, which is quite important for poultry because they do suffer with respiratory infections quite easily. So you want something with hardly any dust in it, like this, which is Macanthus, made from Macanthus. Daisy's having a look at the Macanthus. And we would poop pick in the coop every morning. Olive's being noisy, she's going to lay an egg soon, aren't you, Olive? So poop pick in the coop every morning. We have a plastic sheet, just a normal bit of plastic, and that sort of saves a lot of the mess on the floor. So the other reason we use Macanthus, we say it's because it's dust extracted. It's also crushed as well. So you are in a situation where, you know, poultry can suffer with a thing called red mite in their coops because of the joins. You know, you've got all these joins with a wood coop. People even have plastic coops and they still can get red mite. So in these joins here, in the summer, red mite, and what they can do is they can crawl up the legs of your poultry, and then they can then start basically going into the skin and siphoning off blood from for your poultry, which would make them weaker. So a couple of things we do to reduce getting red mite in the coop. Obviously, like I said, the bedding. We also have what they call a mite spray, which is in a sprayer, and that we spray the coop once a month. And I'm talking about all the sides, the whole of the roof, the whole of the floor, because once a week we'll do a complete clean through. Once a month, when we do our complete clean through, we will then obviously mite spray it with this special spray which reduces the fact of getting mite. Now 5 years in, touch wood, no mite. So that's one of the reasons you've got to be very you've got to be very careful. You've got to be looking all the time, getting them up in the morning, shine torches into them at night, shine torches into the cracks. If you get red mite, then you need to do something about it, big time. So this was the original run here, and what we did is, because we only had 3 bantam hens to begin with, and then we decided we wanted a few more. It's chicken maths, you wait and see. It'll happen to you as well. We have 7 now. So we built an extension. So we built this extension from here on. We've put up like a clip-in system in here, so we can put a mesh panel in here. The idea of putting a mesh panel, so if we bring 2 new ones into the flock, we can actually put them in the coop that we made down here, and they can be in the run in that side with a mesh panel here. They can all see each other and they're getting used to each other before you actually, you know, after 10 days or whatever time you think is right, to actually amalgamate the flock. How do we amalgamate the flock if you're going to put more in? So if they're small, if they're only 3 months old, so that down there, that is Doris at the front here, Doris there, and then Beryl there at the back. They came and they were only 3 months old, so they spent 2.5 months in that section of what we call the nursery. We use it as a nursery when we need to, and use it as the main run when we're not introducing any. So they spent a lot longer just looking at them through the fence, trying to, you know, find out the pecking order. And then what you do, but if they're older, if you get them at 5-6 months, you can just do 10 days and hopefully put them in. So this is the best way. All right, we was taught this by what we would consider a local poultry expert, is at night when it's dark, take them out of this coop here, pick them up, cuddle them in the darkness of the night, take them to this coop, open the door, try and place them on the bar, and by the morning some of the squabbles would have been sorted in the way of they haven't had a squabble. But what's happened is with poultry, it's smell is identity for a lot of them. So it's about them getting used to the smell of the new to. So when they come out in the morning, there'll be some fights. Just obviously be there and oversee it, but they normally sort themselves out fairly quickly, and usually within a week all the fights have stopped. Normally the fights are normally the first day, and then after that it's just a bit of packing, and then they just get used to each other, being friends. And let's talk about entertainment, because you don't want them to be bored. Yeah, you could free range them. We don't feel we can. We don't feel we can free range them because obviously we know we're back onto Heathland. We know we've got foxes. I work, my wife works. I couldn't just leave them in the garden all day, come home and then realise that half of them have gone missing, taken by a fox. I want to give them a long life, a long healthy life. So nourishment, you know, as in, you know, their welfare. So we've got a couple mirrors within the run. They like looking at themselves in the mirror. Here's Daisy now having a look at herself in the mirror. So they do like looking at themselves in the mirror. They then identify themselves of what they look like. And then we've got some roost bars which we put in here. Again, it's a good place if they want to get away from somebody because someone's pecking them. Also, we've made a platform. They like to actually sit on the roost bars as well. Sometimes in the sun, we made a platform, so it's an easy place for people to get away, the bantams to get away from others if they need to. And then they can actually fly from there up onto the coop, top of the coop, and then I've also seen them fly onto this little bar in the corner that we've put there. So it's just about making activities for them, really. So if we go around here, then going into the other part of the run, we've got a platform going there, we've got like 2 levels of staging there, and then going down, we go down here, we've got a ladder and a ladder going down, so they jump down here or they go down the ladder into this lower area. And again, we've got a mirror, we've got a log. So it's just really things to keep them occupied, really. So this lower area we've designed in a way, because you've got to think we got prevailing winds coming in from over the wall. So we want to make sure we've got a nice dry area, and this is what we call our nice dry area. So if it's absolutely hammering down, they can go and sit in this coop. But also we've got panels on there. They've got a roof up here covering them in, and also we've got a panel on the side there. So this is a nice dry area for them, even when it's raining. So this is the other coop we made, again, roost bar, so we can use it as a nursery when we need to, and then we can also use it as an area for them to be drying, and also a place where they can sit in the corner, make a nest and lay an egg. So when you're thinking about this, on your food and your water, you don't want one area of food and one area of water, because someone who's top hen, or one of the top hens, could easily just dictate the food and dictate the water. So we've got hanging feeder here. We put a nice concrete slab in underneath because they do make a mess, and then this makes it easier to clean up at the end of the day with a dustpan and brush. We like these water containers here, so as they drink it gets filled up from the white thing again. So they like these as well. We also use water bowls as well. They do seem to like a bowl of water, and we put it on a sort of half concrete block. There you are, can you see that half concrete block? Just to raise it up a bit. We've got another feeder here. So going off track just slightly. So this is little pots that we just hang onto the fence. We've got 1, 2, three, four of them dotted around different places. So this is a mix. We put oyster shell in there, which is the white looking stuff. That's oyster shell. That is high in calcium, and that is good for creating nice thick eggshells. And you see the brown things, that's flint stones. Poultry don't have teeth, so chickens, bantams, they don't have teeth, so they digest the food by eating these little stones and then pulverizing it with the stones in the stomach to actually break their food up. Now on the top here we've got little hooks in different places where we can hook things up. We could actually, we got an allotment which is just outside of the run. I don't even see that there. There's part of our allotment. It's March, so there's not a lot going on at the moment, but during the summer they're getting pickings of lettuce, they're getting pickings of cabbage and swede leaves and beetroot leaves, which they'll all eat. We grow sweet corn. They'll even have sweet corn from our garden as well, and we grow things like mizuna and rocket, which they love to eat as well. So a lot of what we grow in our garden, like even carrots, we eat the carrot and they'll eat the green tops of the carrots. So we can basically bunch them up on a piece of string, tie them up on this, hang them down, make them work a little bit. A bit of entertainment for them again, to try and eat the carrot tops or the cabbage or whatever you've hung up. Just quickly talk about the breeds we've got then. So Daisy there, she's a cuckoo Moran. I would definitely have more cuckoo Morans. She's a fairly good layer. She's got very good temperament. She tries to get on with everybody. She's never really much of a problem at all, Daisy. Now this is Olive. She's a cross between a Welsh Summer, and we've had a Welsh Summer, pure Welsh Summers before, and they're very good layers and they're very good foragers, but they're a little bit flighty, but you can sort of train them to be more of a cuddle chicken if you want to be. So she's a cross between a Welsh Summer and a Moran, a copper Moran. She's a lovely hen to have, really. Again, she looks after the whole flock very well. She's a good layer. Never really many health problems at all. So this is Fanny. She's a blue Plymouth Rock. I would not recommend Plymouth Rocks at all. They're supposed to be good layers. This is the third Plymouth Rock we've had, and none of them have been good layers. Whether where it's come from the breed stock. They're quite timid towards the other bantams here as well. She doesn't really want to partake in any friendships too much with the others. This is Beryl. She's a Wyandotte. I probably wouldn't have any more Wyandottes again. They're quite noisy. She's quite a good layer, but no, I probably wouldn't. And that's her half sister beside her there, and she's a cross between a Wyandotte and something else. I can't remember what. She's a little darling. She's a good layer. So Beryl there on the right, Doris on the left, half sisters, though they had the same mother but different father. But the ones I would highly recommend is these. These are Rhode Island Red. This lovely brown hen here. That's Violet. She's head of the flock. She's top dog. They're fantastic layers, fantastic temperament. She is top of the flock, and she will peck a few when she wants something that someone else has got. But these, if you want poultry, chicken, bantam that you want to pick up and cuddle and sit on your lap, Rhode Island Reds are the breed to go. They're excellent layers. Yeah, they're just beautiful to look at. So the nice lovely chocolate colour. So there's two types of Rhode Island Reds. She is a what you call exhibition standard, so she's got this lovely chocolate colouring, whereas the standard ones are just like a brown hen, which is not so pretty. But yeah, I've got two of these. This is Violet, and got a sister here as well. She's in laying an egg at the moment, and she's called Elsie. So for me, I'm all about bantams all the way, not chickens. But let's look at different sizes of the eggs. So this is a chicken egg. Okay, so you can see how much bigger it is, especially when you look at the one on this end, which is Violet's. No, sorry, that's Elsie's egg. Compare that to, let's just put it beside it. Can you see the difference? There's a big difference. So Elsie lays that small egg there compared to a chicken egg. And then if we look at Daisy's egg, compare that to a chicken egg, you can see that a bantam egg is much smaller than a chicken egg. But with a bantam egg, there is more yolk to white ratio. So if you're making scrambled eggs, if you're making a cake, if you're making a pancake, if you're making an omelette, these are going to be lovely orangey yellow, more yolk than there is white, richer egg. I would never have chickens. I would always have bantams, always. A hen can lay, it takes 26 hours to produce and lay the egg. So really you're looking at, what we find is every other day you'll get an egg out of a hen. If you don't have a cockerel rooster, then the eggs will never be fertile. If you have a rooster, then obviously you can incubate the eggs or put hens sit on them, but just be wary what you're going to do with the cockerels. You know, if you have a hen sitting on 5 eggs and 3 of them are cockerels, 2 of them are hens, you've got to have an exit strategy or what you're going to do with the cockerels. As long as you do have an exit strategy, then it's fine. So they can suffer with mite. Sorry, got that wrong, not mite, lice. Sorry, getting it wrong now. So that's okay, can suffer with lice. So what we've done is we've got a couple of old baby baths where they're stacked on top of each other, one on top of the other, and we went round and we found some molehills, and we dug the molehill mounds up, brought them back in a bucket. When we got enough, then we put all this soil, laid it out flat in the greenhouse, got it nice and dry, then we sieved it with a garden sieve, and then they'll use this as a dust bath. They do love to have a dust bath, and this is perfect for them. And when we're talking about lice, what you can do is to help control the lice is, if you know anyone or you have a wood burner and you actually have wood ash as a byproduct of a wood burner, what you can do is you can put a big mug full of wood ash in this, the dust of the wood ash into this, and just sprinkle it around before you put it in for them to have a bath. What this will do is will help control mite. So their main diet is this pellet form of their food. Like I say, they do have treats of different things like cabbage and melon and different things every day, but you know, that's limited. Just to give them, you know, it'd be a bit boring if you imagine if we all ate just Weetabix for all of our life, and if you're just giving hens just pellets for the rest of their life, it's a little bit boring for them. So just give them a bit of nourishment, a bit of entertainment, give them a lettuce or whatever every now and then. So the pellets we use we would highly recommend, they are Allen and Page, and they are GM free. So this is their tea time treat. This is corn. So this is what we grow. We buy super mixed corn, again, Allen and Page super mixed corn, and they'll have a good couple handfuls for 7 of them thrown around the floor, and they'll go and eat it. Why we give them corn before bedtime, especially in the winter, so they'll actually store some of this corn in a crop. They have a crop where they can actually store food and then regurgitate that a little bit and then eat that during the night if they get hungry. But also the corn will keep them warm at night. It helps to keep them warm. The other thing we'll give them is a small amount of these, which is sunflower hearts, which is good for their feathers. Got lots of nice natural oils in that, and that'll help with their feathers looking nice and silky. So yeah, sorry, it's a bit of a long old video, and you know, feel free to just skip through bits if you need to. But if you are one of those people like we were 5 years ago, thinking about we want poultry, how do we go about it, how do we build a run, how do we do this, how do we do that, then this is why we made this video, because we're just trying to be a little bit helpful. So hopefully this has been a little bit helpful. Any questions then I've not mentioned in the video, feel free to comment on the video and I'll come back to you with hopefully with an answer. Anyway, best of luck getting poultry.